the third car of the day, and this is actually the one that I've been looking forward to actually driving more than the other two. MG ZS 120. Now I have an MG ZS, but already I can tell you that I prefer this one. Although it might need a wash, in fact it does need a wash, I can honestly say I think this is a better car. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there really, aren't I? So let's just explain that. First thing is these Cosmos alloys. Out of all of the MG Rover alloys, these are my favourites. I like the uncluttered design, and I think probably that's why it appeals to me, because there's no jaggy bits anywhere, which means that when you come to clean them, you can clean them easily and more quickly. So I'm just lazy, but they do actually look really cool. The other thing, of course, is this is a booted version, not a hatchback. And the booted versions seem to be the ones that people like. The whole car has a really well balanced profile. The other thing I prefer over my ZS is, well, the interior basically. Mine, and not many of them, seem to come with these caps on there, which is of course on the Rover 45 that's a fake wood cap, which looks nice, and then it follows onto the dash as well. But the cheapo versions like mine don't have that. And the seats, it's got some actual leather, not that plastic. This is not the vegetarian option. And with leather seats means obviously a bit more comfort, because the seats are softer and they don't get stuck on you as much. It still only has the wind down windows in the back, but you know, you can't have everything. Underneath the bonnet we have the same 1.8 K-series engine that the Rover 75 has. But of course this car isn't as heavy as a Rover 75. The 75s are, you know, a substantial car. These are quite light. And yet again, because I'm stood at the side of a main road with the bonnet open on an MG or a Rover, all these people will be thinking the same thing, and they're wrong. Driver's seat is nice and supportive, and it's not too low down. I know really many people want the driver's seat to be as low down as possible if you want the car to feel sporting, but I don't. It probably goes lower as well. Inside this car it's all quite well fit, the same thing as my ZS really. It's functional, it's not particularly Rover-esque. It's a bit like being in a Honda Civic. But crucially the buttons all work, and there's nothing wrong with any of them. They're all doing their job, and they all have a nice tactile feel to them, and there's no resistor issue with the blower there as well. What we really need to do is drive it and just make sure all that's nice as well. With 100,000 miles on the clock, it still sounds absolutely spot on. Yep, nice and smooth. That's the thing actually with the K-series. If it's been serviced, if it's been looked after, they sound good. If they're left to have gloopy oil in with the consistency of Marmite, then they don't sound too good, because the oil doesn't get to the hydraulic tappets. Now I've got to get it back to RoverRevival before it runs out of petrol. Right. The 1.8 is much torquier than the 1.6 that I have, and that's the other thing that when I first got into this, I thought that's what I'm looking forward to, because actually the torquier engine does suit the ride and its ability to go around corners very, very quickly, and these really can. That sounds fantastic. That's really how a K-series should sound and how it should go. So here's the deal. If you want, you could swap this for my blue one, my trophy blue one, because the only thing I don't like about my trophy blue one is it's just not very quick, because it's a 1.6. See if the horn works. It does.